Hey guys, what is up? Reese here, and I've got a brand new sneaker pickup to show you. What we're looking at is the Nike Kobe 9 Elite Low. This is the Hyper Purple, White, and Cave Purple colorway. These released on July 12th, 2014 with a retail price of $200. And these were also known by two nicknames. The official nickname was the Moonwalkers, the unofficial was the Michael Jacksons. Obviously those tie into the same thing, it's just they couldn't actually use the name Michael Jackson, so they went with the Moonwalkers, which, as I'm sure you know, was a dance move that Michael Jackson popularized. And so one of the ways they tied that in that I think is really cool is so these feature a translucent outsole, but then underneath the outsole you got a print of the moon surface. So it's like every time you step, you're actually walking on the moon, doing the moonwalk. I really appreciate bad puns, so I really appreciate what they did with that. But that's just kind of one of the examples of why I really like this shoe. There were just a lot of small details that and just like very nice craftsmanship and just a lot of things that they did right with this shoe. This is actually released a little more than a month ago, and I tried to get them on release day, but I struck out. I went into some of my local stores and they all were either sold out or they just were sold out of my size. I wear size 13, which can be a little hard to come by because most stores only get like one, maybe two pairs if they're really lucky. And so I just was not able to track them down in my size. I know for a lot of people they were sitting at different places, but I just never was able to find them in my size. And so I was like, darn, because I really did want them, and this was my favorite colorway of the ones we've seen so far. I really like purple, and I didn't have that many purple shoes. This is the first pair I have that's like predominantly or fully purple, so it was cool to get. But so I really wanted this pair, but I wasn't gonna like go to any extreme lengths or pay any crazy amount for them, so I just moved on. But then my brother was actually studying abroad over at Oxford University in England, and he took a couple days and went to London, and he was actually really cool about being able to go and take some time to go to a sneaker shop or two there in London and see if he could just find me something cool. It would have been really neat to find a pair of like European exclusive or like, just a special pair that you can't really get here, but unfortunately he didn't have time to go to a lot of stores and there was nothing in my size. 13 again can be a little hard to come by, but he was able to actually find these in my size, and so he knew that I'd wanted these, so he picked these up for me, and I really appreciate that. He took some time out of his day in London and a couple hours, and it was really cool for him to be able to pick these up for me. So even though they're not a European exclusive, they really do mean a lot to me, and I really like this pair. This is now, I have every silhouette of the Kobe 9 that's released so far. There's the mid version coming up, but those haven't released yet, so I have the Elite High, the Elite Low, and then the EM. And this might be my favorite. I really like the Elite High, but just the size and the bulk makes it something you can't wear all the time. It's just a little... It's a different enough design. I love wearing them, but it's not maybe as wearable as these are, and so that's one thing that I really enjoy about this pair. And like I said, the color and some of the details on this are just what set it apart. One thing that was interesting to me is when we saw the official images released by Nike, they showed the shoes featuring black laces, and then there was a heel tab right here, like a little pull tab where these 3M stitches were actually part of that pull tab. And when the shoe actually released, they came with purple laces, and they didn't have that heel tab. And then the same thing happened with the Beethovens, which is the black and white pair that released this past weekend. The Nike official images on their launch calendar showed the heel tab, and they don't have that, so I don't know. I'm sure that was just like an early design iteration of them, but it just seemed weird that they were putting out these official images that weren't actually what released. I never really heard what happened there, so if you know anything about that, I'd love to hear in the comments below about that. But as you can see, like I mentioned, these did actually release with purple laces, but I put in some different laces. I had these black rope laces with little gray speckles from a pair of Nike ID LeBron 11s I made a couple months ago. I ended up lace swapping those, and so I had these available. And I just think the black breaks it up. There was a lot of purple before, and so this just makes it a really nice look. But one thing I really do like about this shoe is they mix a couple different colors of purple. You've got the main purple on here is your Hyper Grape, and I have no idea what makes this grape any more hyper than the grape you see on like the Grape 5s, but whatever. But then you also have Cave Purple, which is a darker purple, which is, that darker color really gives this a nice kind of regal look. And it's just a very nice looking shoe. So with all that said, let's dive right into a close-up view, and I'll show you colors, materials, and everything that's going on here. Here we go with our close-up look of the Nike Kobe 9 Elite Low in the Hyper Grape colorway. These are also known as the Michael Jacksons or the Moonwalkers. For your upper, you've got the exact same Flyknit construction as we see on the Kobe 9 Elite High, which means there is a fuse backing, so that does lose some of the kind of like the nice properties of Flyknit, but at the same time it does help with durability because a basketball shoe is going to take beating in a lot of different ways than a running shoe will, which is where we've seen Flyknit before. As you can see right here, the stitching is a lot tighter around the toe box area, and then it kind of gets a little bit bigger here. You have two main colors of Flyknit. You have your Hyper Grape, and then you also have Cave Purple, which is the darker color. I've seen some people do reviews of these, and they've mentioned that it's your Hyper Grape in black, but that actually is Cave Purple, so it's just a darker purple color. You can see it's all throughout right up here, and then also on these bigger stitches. If we look here at the back, you can see on the left side of the shoe, you've got just some solid single color Flyknit, and over here on the inside of the shoe, it is Cave Purple, and then on the outside, it is Hyper Grape. If we look right here at the swoosh, you've got a metallic silver swoosh. It's a really cool effect. It's layered on top of the Flyknit, so it's a little bit textured with the pattern of the Flyknit. A lot of like Flyknit running shoes will just have the swoosh painted on, but this is again actually like on top of that. On the inside of the shoe, you have the exact same thing. If we look here at the heel, you've got this little tab right here in your Hyper Grape, and then you've got your your 9 Kobe stitches right there. These are 3M. This is one thing, although this might look like it's exactly the same as the Kobe 9 EM, just different material, there actually are a few subtle differences, and this is one of the places. The stitches on the Kobe 9 EM are a lot wider, a lot bigger, and also the cut of the back, how this is shaped right here is a little bit different. This shoe, although they're both low tops, this shoe actually sits just a little bit higher than the EM, especially like all the way up through here. This is just a little bit higher. The tongue is higher, and the cut is just ever so slightly higher. Just something to note. If we switch now to the tongue, for the main part of the tongue, you've got your mesh, and as you can see, it's kind of like a two-layer mesh. You got really small holes on the top, and then some larger holes there on the bottom. The top of the tongue is your Cave Purple. It's not a shiny material, but it's a really nice synthetic. I really like the feel of it, and it kind of like when you're moving it shimmers a little bit in terms of going from more of a purple to more of a black, depending on how the light's hitting it and how you're looking at it. I think that's kind of cool. You've got your Kobe signature at the top in black, and you've got the Kobe logo right here in white, which is the one thing I don't get about the shoe. I don't know why this wasn't like a silver, like you see over here, like a 3M. That would have made a little more sense, but it's, again, not that big of a deal. These come originally with flat purple laces, but these are the rope laces that I took from my Nike ID LeBron 11s. It's just a black lace with little gray speckles. I think the gray works well with the like the swoosh and the little stitches on the back, and then the black just looks good with some of the other black accents on the shoe, and it just breaks it up from all the purple that we saw. Real quick, the lining is Cave Purple, and then you've got your purple insole right there, and that's on this shoe. That's where actually the midsole cushioning is. It's a lunar lawn insert, just like the LeBron 11 and the other versions of the Kobe 9. Now jumping to the midsole, you've got these carbon fiber sections, and that's another difference between the EM and the Elite Low. On the EM, these are not carbon fiber, but on the Elite High they are, and so they actually brought the carbon fiber down to the low pair. You've got a smaller piece right here, kind of in the middle of the foot, and then a bigger piece right back here on your outer heel. Same thing on the inside, you've got the outer heel piece, but nothing up at the midsole. You just have this black midsole piece right here that wraps around, and you can see it right here. You've got some Cave Purple webbing between the midsole and the upper, and that about does it for the upper of the shoe. So the last thing to look at again is that crazy outsole, which I just love. It's actually a translucent outsole, and again, you've got your anatomical foot pattern. It's kind of hard to see. It's kind of like the pressure map of the foot, but this pair, it's hard to pick out. But then underneath that, you've got that moon surface printed, which again, the pun's kind of bad. You're walking on the moon, moonwalking, but I think it's actually a really cool touch, and it's just a little detail that I really like. And if you even look here on the side, you can see it. It wraps up around, and so you can see it right there through where the outsole wraps up. And then back here, you've got your little kind of oval shape with the Kobe logo, and that is all purple. So that about wraps it up for this shoe. I'm really happy to have gotten these. Like I said, it would have been cool if Brian could have picked me up a pair of like European release, but since those weren't available in my size, like a European exclusive pair, I was really happy to get these since I did miss out in the US. I love the Kobe 9. This is the first Kobe shoe I've ever seriously been interested in, and now I have. This is my third silhouette. So thanks for checking this out, guys. Be sure to let me know in the comments what you think of this shoe. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great day.